Hello, WL viewers, and welcome to yet another offseason update with the UWL head football coach, Matt Janus. Matt, how are you doing this morning?
Doing good, Daniel. How about you?
Good, thank you, of course, for having me. Month closer to the season. How's the team looking?
Good. Really excited about this group. They're a different group in terms of the way they've really approached the offseason here. Really like the how together they are, how much they bond with each other. You can tell already that this is a really close-knit group, and impressed with what's going on there in the weight room. It's really, this is like the last week of our major grind of the off season, where they're up 3 days a week in the morning, they're lifting 4 days a week in the afternoon. So they've had quite a grind here over the last 7 weeks. It's been hard, which is exactly what we wanted as coaches this off season. We wanted to get these guys out of their out of a comfortable environment. We wanted to stress them a little bit this offseason. And so having to wake up for 7 weeks throughout the last quarter plus school, all that's going on, I thought they really handled that well here. And then they're going to get their little reward here with spring break coming up next week. I think we got guys going all over Panama City Beach and where else? Punta Cana, I know some guys are going. So they get kind of their week reward. And then when we get back here, it's really going to turn. It's going to be almost like getting a football season. We'll kind of have an acclimatization week, really, in terms of strength and conditioning, try to incorporate more running into it. And then geez, we're back on March 29th and 30th. We're back on the practice field, and we're starting our spring ball here. So this big grind has felt like it's flown by like this, and now we're already talking. Heck, the next time I sit down here, we'll have spring ball under our belt, and so it's really kind of an exciting time of the year.
So that week where the guys have off, what do the coaches get to do?
Well, we're going to get ready for spring ball, really, with us. I mean, I don't think I think our coaching staff's too old to take maybe a spring break trip down there with them. So we're not doing any of that stuff. We're here. We're getting ourselves ready, obviously meeting every day, going over, really now what's going to turn to is going over our spring ball installs, what we want to get accomplished offensively, defensively, prep new drills, we're trying some different things with our practice structure and kind of tweaking some things there, and trying to get all of our ideas and our kind of the new things that we picked up throughout the offseason implemented throughout the spring.
So we talked a little bit before we started the recording, but you guys are still looking for a game or two, and then the schedule should be coming out. How's that all going?
Yeah, it's a treat. I mean, scheduling in our league is just an absolute treat. Every single year, it's horrible. It is horrible. There's a lot of teams in Division III. I'll just say it where it is, that coaches that aren't competitive programs that don't want to compete against YX schools. I'll put it out there where it's at. We get a lot of no's almost all the time, no's from the Division III level. And then we get kind of tied into, hey, if we are going to play a game, and especially for the top programs, I mean, you're talking teams in our league, you're talking the North Centrals of the world, talking St. John's of the world, some of those top schools down south, Hardin-Simmons, Hardin-Baylor. Man, you got to travel. We are. And when we release the schedule, we're going to have a long East Coast trip again this year. So if you want to fill out your schedule with Division III opponents and you play in the WIAC, you're going to have to get creative, or you're going to have to play top-notch teams. And you get to play really, your whole season for all 10 games, as we found out for the last couple of years here at UW Lacrosse, like our non-conference season to our conference, there isn't a week off. It is a bloodbath for 10 weeks. And so it's been hard. We're trying other options in terms of looking at NAIA schools. We already have it. We're going to have a Division II school again on the schedule for next year. That's already set in week 3. But then the problem is when you play NAIA schools and you play Division II schools, those games don't count towards anything. In theory, when you talk MPI, when you talk playoffs, when you talk strength, those games don't count. So even though last year we played a 10-game schedule, well, 2 of them were against Division II programs. So we were in theory 6-2 in the non-conference season, or 6-2 overall as a team. So there's kind of the thought process behind that. Do we have to do that again to fill out the schedule? If we don't, right now, we're still looking for week 1. And if we don't have a week 1, and this has been something that we've been doing since, you go back to last year, before last year, we've been worried about week 1 in 2026. And Coach White, Coach Begson, myself, Coach Zweifel, we've actually compiled list of the amount of schools that we've emailed that told us no. We've gone coast to coast. It's just a pain in the butt. And it's like that. It's not just that's not just like a UW Lacrosse event. That is a WIAC issue. That is an issue that we have within our league of being able to find, or we have to constrain. We have to go out east. We have to go out west. We have to go south. And so we're trying to the best we can to try to fill that out. And And if we can't find 10, we'll have 9 games, and we'll be just fine. And we'll, come into camp a week later than everybody else, but we'll be fine. So we're not stressing it. I certainly, without a doubt, want a Division III opponent, but since I've been the head coach here, we haven't had that opportunity. We played Division IIs. We played 2 Division IIs last year. I think it was a Division II and an NAI the year before. It was a Division II and an NAI the year before. I can't find a Division III opponent within reason, and I can't take like we went to Troy, New York, and obviously I can't take that trip 3 times in the non-conference season, which is what's kind of expected. Like, we're already going to be heading out. We're heading out somewhere out east and on a long trip. I can't do another one, so I'm kind of constrained where I need a home game or I need something regionally. But regionally, Division III opponents just don't want to play. Outside of, we tried to, St. John's and North Central, we tried to work something out, and that kind of fell through with both of us. And St. John's ended up finding somebody. I think North Central ended up going to Oshkosh, or they're playing Oshkosh this year. So it's like we're trying as best as we can. I know our kids are antsy for it. Our kids know the schedule, but I know everybody else kind of antsy. They want to make their fall plans. We're still hoping and kind of holding out hope here. We were in contact with one school, and they bailed on it. Like, it's a whole nightmare, Daniel. I could go on. You could run like me for like 3 weeks on this segment just complaining about the NCAA Division III scheduling here.
So, on a little more positive notice.
There we go. Perfect.
Whitewater released their schedule. We traveled down there to open conference play. How exciting is that for you?
Yeah, that's probably one way to do it, right? Everybody can start pairing up when other teams, I think the purple team released their schedule, Aquarium released their schedule, probably start figuring out a little bit of our schedule here, but we'll get to that game when we get to it. Obviously, we know the ramifications and what that the history between our 2 programs. We understand that. I think that's a really well-coached football team. They're going to continue to be a top-ranked program. I don't care. People want to point to the record last year. There's not a lot of teams that can beat that team from last year, and I know they're going to continuously get better. I know they brought in some transfers at the quarterback position, especially. That's going to kind of change the outlook of that room. New offensive coordinator as well. So obviously that's going to be a huge game. First conference game on the road at that place, but we got a lot of work to do before we even get to even thinking about that game.
So Coach Yagi now is a month into his coaching tenure here. What has he done that's really been impressing you?
Yeah, no, obviously what's really cool for me is Coach Yagi played as a player here, had such an instrumental role in turning this thing around, and now he's back to help us take the final and the hardest step, right? And the final and the hardest step. And so it's been great to have on board. Obviously, we know, all of our coaches currently on staff, we know how good his schemes are and what they will mean. I know he's already building and stressing relationships with guys with our players on offense and building those. But really what the big project has been now for the last month, it's not like, Coach Yagi comes here and says, here's my playbook, we're running everything. And that there's going to be some concepts that we carry over, but really it's the mesh of everything that we've been doing with what he's going to bring, and some of his top schemes versus, hey, there's some stuff that I want as a head coach that I want to make sure stays. And it's not like I'm going to sit over Coach Yagi's shoulder and tell him you got to run this now and do this now. No, nothing like that. But I want to make sure that some of the things that we had a lot of success with stays. I want to still make sure that we are a physical football team. And how are you a physical football? You run the freaking football. Like that. That's how you become physical. And so there's some stuff that him, Coach McGlenn, Coach Frank Tierney, myself, Coach Bagstead, we've really been kind of meshing everything, right? And we're giving it new names and talking about new concepts and saying, okay, well, how can we make this run scheme pair up with this RPO that you really like? This is the read you want on this RPO. How do we make sure that we're not blocking the read key on that? So we're kind of, it's actually been really fun to kind of do this with Coach Yagi and Coach McGlenn. And obviously there's been some stress in it and trying to figure out, we're on a clock, right? We got spring ball coming, but we're really now to the kind of tail end of this. They've done a great job of piecing that all together. And so he's bringing in a lot of his schemes that he had a ton of success with, and we're matching it up with schemes that we had success with, and really, really looking forward and obviously getting the chance to open it up, unveil it this spring with their players. I know they're getting antsy, they're getting itchy to kind of see the new schemes and what we got going. So really kind of an exciting time. And then, like I said, he's doing a great job just building relationships. I think that's been the key thing, and just trying to get to know the guys and trying to put names to faces. Obviously, he knew from going against us who Jack Jenke was and who Gabe Lynch was. He recruited Kyle Haas out of high school. And so like he's got like these kind of relationships a little bit, and now he's trying to build those up even more. And then, you know, what's been really cool with him is that there's kind of some continuity already with our staff, right? Like Coach Frank, Coach Yagi, right? Coach McGlenn, Coach Yagi. So it's kind of cool because it's like there's some continuity. We're not like starting over completely new with a new person and trying to figure out, well, what is this guy like? What are his hobby? We're already already past that point.
How do you think that'll benefit the team, knowing Coach Yagi heading into this season already?
I think how it's going to benefit our team is our offensive guys are going to understand how much lacrosse means to that guy. This is, as Coach Yagi has told me, this is his dream job, and this is where he wanted to be, and this is where he had his eyes set on. And so I think when you have a coach and you play for a coach that cares that much about a place and about a football program, and that like as a player, as an offensive player, like you knew like he's been through it. Hey, he's been through it. He's been through our schedule. He's played in Roger Herring Stadium. Like, I think that just gives you just an extra little, motivation for our guys.
You talked about how close-knit this year's team is. What are the seniors doing to kind of bring those younger guys in, get them acclimated?
Yeah, they're just, it's like I guess the first thing, like when we go into like a new year, right, there's kind of new faces that come to the program, right? We brought in 10 transfers, upper-level transfers that semester. And so to bring those guys, and then you kind of walk around and like 7 weeks in, and you feel like Sal's been around and Jacory's been around, Jacory Bay's been around for forever, right? And so like they've done a good job of getting the transfers acclimated into our culture, acclimated into lacrosse with that. But I think just overall engagement within our team and finding things to do outside of football, outside of lifting weights, outside of throwing. Like that's what I think our seniors and our captains right now, Gabe Lynch and Marko Rajkovic, like I think those guys have done that. They've taken the lead on that. They've engaged their guys, whether it's, and I think we're all, and I hope the whole city of lacrosse is, I am like the biggest fanboy for our basketball team right now, and watching them go to Sweet 16 and to have our guys at their games are sitting behind Greenville's bench, yelling at Greenville a little bit. But like to see our guys do that, I know they're doing a ton. We have a big majority of our guys are very religious and want Bible study. And, like I know on Lent, they went up to the shrine of Our Lady Guadalupe and did their mass there. And so like, I think they've just been finding ways just to be together and to spend time together and to find interest with one another.
So you got a lot of positive to say about this team. What would you say your proudest moment of the last 7 weeks have been?
Oh, throwing me on the spot. Proudest moment of our last 7 weeks. I'm kind of limited because I can't go up in the weight room. I can't see them every single day. I can't go to their running class, so I don't get to like observe that part. But I think it's a group that's hungry. I think there's and there is, like, obviously when you lose a group of seniors that have played for you for a really long time, right? We get a lot of guys in that senior group that moved on, that have been playing since maybe their sophomore year. And so I think there's a turnover of new and talented faces that are really hungry and really competitive. And I know Coach Calicott in the weight room, like we talked about, trying to stress them, right, and try to get them out of their comfort zone. And part of it's because I want to see them compete. I want to see, like, and I told Coach Calicott that we're going to continue it during spring ball. Like, when the lights go on, I want to see who's going to fight to the death. And so we've been doing, I know Coach Calicott's been doing a ton of competition with them. And so to see them answer that bell and to hear about the certain guys answering the bell, I'm really excited to see this group as we get into spring ball. And I know that's been a big part of Coach Calicott's job, right, is not only to take over the offseason condition, but also to get them ready so that we can hit the ground running come spring ball.
So heading a couple months into the future, Coach Yagi's holding the quarterback camps for high schoolers in May. Where can people find more information about that?
Yeah, uwlcamps.com. I mean, we're putting a ton of camps out there. We've had really good success with our prospect camp, where we've tried to bring in our top prospects, local area guys. So we try to bring those guys in. We've had over 100 at each session that we've had for that. But then last year we kind of experimented, tested the water a little bit with more position-specific kind of camps. And so we have a whole series of quarterback camps that's going to run. It's just a session kind of every couple of weeks. You can sign up for one session. We kind of coach them up. We're going to pair them up with the wide receiver camp at the same time. Coach Z is going to coach that. Coach Z, for those of you guys that don't know, was in mini camp with the Packers, was a Gagliardi Trophy winner, which is like the Division III equivalent to the Heisman at wide receiver. I played against him, one of the best I've ever seen on the football field. So he's going to do wide receiver camp. and quarterbacks are going to do them. They're going to throw. Coach Larson, our kickers coach, we're putting out a specialist camp here for 2 different sessions. We're going to trying something new with our youth and middle school. We're going to try to run it at night and not just make it like a 3 or 4 day camp. We're going to try to go all June. Tuesday nights for the youth, Thursday night for our middle schools, and try to make it something to keep obviously kids in the area busy, but to keep them playing football. And our camps, like I can't stand what football has become. If you're in tune to like recruiting and college football recruiting, like I can't stand that kids pay money to go get their 40 time and do this. Like I don't like that. Like that's not me. Like I don't care about showcases that want to time 40s, do one-on-ones. Like I'm a football coach, and be honest with you, Daniel, all I want to do is just coach the piss out of people. Like that's all I want to do. I just want to coach guys. I want to coach football. And so when you come to our camps, that's all it is. Like we're not there to recruit you. Like we're not doing that. We're there because I want to coach you, and you're paying money to get coached. And obviously with the goal of our camps, that we hope that for our older level high school guys, they can bring just something back, whether it's a new defensive line pass rush move, whether it's a block destruction technique with our linebackers, whether it's footwork stuff with the quarterback. They can bring something back to their high schools, to their teams, and they benefit from it. Yep. So that's what our camps are all structured around. And then our youth and middle school ones, especially our youth ones, just for fun. Like we can't just line up second graders and play 11-on-11 football and think they're going to run. Like, so we do a whole bunch of different things. We do, we'll do some plyometrics and stuff. We'll do a lot of like small game play, like capture the flag, and we do a lot of different small game stuff. We play like some what we call eagle ball, which is like ultimate frisbee with the football. So I don't have to hear, set hike and then here. So we do a lot of different things with our camps in middle school. Obviously a little bit more technique driven to try to get them ready, whether it's for middle school season or get them ready for high school. But those younger ones are all about fun.
Matt, of course, thank you for your time. Next time we talk to you, you'll be closer to football and spring ball.
Heck yeah.
Thank you for your time. Of course, go Eagles.
You bet, Daniel. Thank you, and go Eagles.